Okay, the HAARP crowd has a real problem because it's actually raining in Texas. So here we go with mid-afternoon HAARP update for April 19th. Very interesting stuff is going on right now. Because of the rain in Texas, they are having a real crisis. I mean, this is just an emergency for them. And keep in mind, they don't care if it rains in New Mexico. They don't care at all because they own the water rights there. But they don't own the water rights in the Texas Panhandle. So they have to keep the drought going so that they will be able to take ownership of all the groundwater. So let me show what's happening with HAARP. This is really amazing. Okay, the small HAARP is not able to cope with this. So they are using the big HAARP in Gakona, and it's harping down in this direction here, and we can see just a whole lot of junk showing up in Oregon. And I think, let me unzoom this so I can show you the big picture. Okay, so here's the Gakona Haarp, and it is sending radio wave down this direction right here to go down into the Texas Panhandle to stop that rain. Now, because of this low pressure here, it's messing up the beam, and it's bending and showing up in Oregon as ELF waves. Let me zoom on that. This is extremely amazing and interesting. So we can sure see the energy showing up right here in Oregon. Not only, I've got to stop this. Okay. And also we can see some of the herringbones facing back towards Gakona here. Right at the corner we see some very faint herringbone there. And here's some more facing back to Gakona. Okay, so this herringbone should not be there. They're not trying to heat the ionosphere right at that area. So guess what they're doing? They are chemtrailing in an emergency measure right over Oregon. So if we zoom a little bit here, we can see their emergency chemtrails, which again builds a reflector surface so that they can get the HAARP radio wave to travel farther. Alright? And in Java mode you don't have the contrast tools, but let me stop it. Chemtrail, 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 chemtrail. So right where we're seeing the ELF wasted energy show up in Oregon, they are doing an emergency chemtrail. And this has just shown up in the last hour. So hope you can see that, but it's definitely there. Okay, so if we look actually into Texas, we can see some evidence that the southern smaller HAARP unit is being used. In fact, if we just look at the water vapor map, that shows it best, because this is suddenly becoming dark, which means that they're causing some descending air. They're trying to crush these other storms. It's too late for these because there's actual rain falling in the Panhandle now. And incidentally, for the last 3 hours I have seen the HAARP signal, the HAARP radio signal on my oscilloscope. So that shows that they are applying the HAARP energy to the Texas Panhandle. But it'll be on for 10 minutes and off for 15 minutes, and then on for 10 minutes and off for a while. So I encourage you guys to look at my HAARP signal video so you can build your own HAARP detector, okay? That's, along with the satellite maps and the mysterious shutdown of rainstorms, that's the best way to detect this. Okay, so, well, other than it actually raining, which it hasn't done in months in the Texas Panhandle, not a whole lot to report. But the cool thing was the strange emergency chemtrailing, along with the ELF wastage in Oregon. But here you can see the actual radar map. Now, for the last 3 years, they have been able to stop the rain right at this line. And still, if they can hold the rain below 1/4 of an inch, then they've won. So we are definitely going to see these guys here will come under attack, but it appears the dry air is here, so they are afraid of an even greater storm moving in from down here. So they're going to make sure that once this moves into the dry air, it dies out. So it looks like they're kind of giving up on this one, which believe me, there's a lot of farmers extremely happy to get even a few drops of rain. Okay, I'm telling you though, folks, you meteorologists, if you can explain that these kind of weird fish scale herringbone marks, I like to hear it. But I don't think you can, because it's just not normal. You know, in the last 10 years, there have been like 15 new cloud types added to the meteorological cloud, whatever, encyclopedia. And these are all clouds created by HAARP. In fact, if you want to see these new cloud types, you can go to Google and search on, oh dang it, U.S. Post. They had a little stamp book come out with the new cloud types. U.S. Post Cloud something, forget what it was. But that just shows you how deep this mind control psychological operation is. That even the U.S. Post is willing to put this HAARP disinfo in everybody's face and in your mailbox, and you know, label each cloud. You know, one of the cloud types is this kind of herringbone seen from the ground. I forget what they call it, but it's all HAARP stuff. So that just tells you how entrenched this power structure is. These gangsters that make billions of dollars every year by controlling grain futures, by trading, by buying options on grain when they know it's going to go up or down in the fall, and, you know, controlling these water rights. But what they don't realize is that this thing is being used to melt the Arctic. Like I predicted yesterday, this big low pressure is gonna, because the jet stream has changed, it's gonna spin on up into Alaska. Alaska's 40 degrees right now. The average is 40 degrees. Let me see. Right here is a temperature map. The high is 48, the average is 31 as of this morning. You know, that's this is an absolute disaster. I mean, once the Arctic methane begins to vent, it's unstoppable, and that means the entire planet is a broiler oven in 20 years. And these idiots running the HAARP, thinking that they're getting ahead by ripping everybody off, they don't know that they're signing their own death warrant. Okay? I mean, you guys have got to stop this. Whoever's in charge of this, they are going to kill our planet in only 20 years. That means most humans have about 10 years left. and I sincerely, the evidence shows that. Okay, thanks.